This is Sophie Heller, and this is an ACT English purpose question. The question is asking which of the following sentences will make the best intro to paragraph 4, as we see here, and the best transition from paragraph 3. So in order to get the best sense of this question, the best strategy would be to look at the paragraphs and get a sense of what each is talking about, so that way we know how to transition out of paragraph 3 and into 4. So let's look at our sentences. So with paragraph 3, it tells us that permanent authority for the care of the Capitol building is provided by a certain act. So it tells us that in sentence 1. The act is changed over time to provide care for additional buildings placed under the jurisdiction of the architect of the Capitol. So this paragraph is telling us about how the architect of the Capitol has power granted by Congress to care for additional buildings and grounds like the Capitol and other buildings in DC. So that's what this paragraph is telling us. Paragraph 4 is much less specific. It says that the architect of the Capitol is much more in charge of the structural and mechanical care of the United States Capitol building, makes arrangements with authorized authorities, makes ceremonies, maintenance, sprucing up of the Capitol grounds, which are an incredible, astounding 208.7 acres, so it's a pretty big job. Cares for different buildings like the Library of Congress, and is charged with the operation of certain restaurants. So paragraph 4 is describing how big a job this architect of Congress, or architect of the Capitol, has, and it's talking about some of this guy's general duties. So we're going to want to try to connect this paragraph 3, which is the act that allowed the architect of the Capitol to care and maintain the Capitol and its grounds, with some of the architect's current duties. So let's look at our choices. Our first choice is to have no change, so to insert no sentence. And it's a little bit weird because even describing these two paragraphs, you can sense the change between the sentence talking about an act that places it under the jurisdiction of the architect, and then we just immediately start talking about the architect's roles in structural and mechanical care. So there's just really no transition. It's a very abrupt change. So we want to look for something better. So let's get rid of this one. Choice 2. The care of restaurants and streets is certainly a burden for the architect of the Capitol. We only mention restaurants down here, so in our last sentence of paragraph 4. So it would be weird to have it up here before we've mentioned even that's in his jurisdiction. Also, we never have the sense that it's a burden for the architect of the Capitol, so this is just going to be wrong because it's irrelevant and it doesn't even come up until the end of paragraph 4, so it's not a good transition sentence. Number 3. Because it was established in the last century, this act has been met with continual debate due to the progress of the 20th century. That's talking about this act that paragraph 3 is talking about, but paragraph 4 immediately goes to the duties of the architect of the Capitol. We're not talking about legislation anymore. So it's a really bad transition. So it's good for paragraph 3, but it's bad as a transitional between the two. So that's not a good choice. Choice 4 is going to be great because it tells us, granted by the Act of 1876, the architect's authority to care for and maintain United States buildings and grounds encompasses a varied set of duties. This is great because it transitions from the fact that we have this 1876 Act that's giving the architect this power, and then paragraph 4 is an entire, really detailed description of the architect's duties. So this is going to be an incredible transition, and so choice 4 is our answer.